Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again to another session of Speak Your Mind. We're glad that you're able to join us again. As usual, we want you guys to know the show's live. It's not recorded like last week. Last week was a bit of a challenge. Many of you know, I'm sure some of you went out to the different events around the territory, so it was challenging coming in to do a live show, and we know so many of our viewers would have been somewhere else. But nonetheless, we're here tonight. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to listen, to interact, and hopefully, whenever possible, put in my 2 cents. Of course, you know I'm going to do that. Many of you like the fact that I'm able to put in a 2 cents in what you believe to be an honest way. So I'm glad that you're able to tune in. As usual, whenever we start the show, I'd like to give you guys an opportunity to call your friends, your neighbors. Let them know that the Speak Your Mind show is on. It is live tonight. This is a chance for them to tune in and hear what others are going through, what they're experiencing, and hopefully that you will take part. I mean, that's why I'm here. I'm here because I want you guys to take part. I want you to contribute. We want to hear from you. We don't just want you to sit back, and say, again, I wanted to call in because there's so much going on and everybody knows my voice. Well, everybody don't know your voice. Some of you, if you're a person like me, of course they know your voice, but a lot of you, we don't know who you are. But when the folks who are listening, who can make a difference, are listening, it's good that they know your voice. It's good that they know that you're thinking, you're cognizant of what's happening in your community, and you want to make a difference. So tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and call who you need to call. Let them know the Speak Your Mind show is on. Of course, tonight, whenever I'm on the show, I want the show to be live. I want it to be informative. I want it to be encouraging, because I tend to think that I come prepared for any topic that I put on this table. I come prepared to answer questions, to put the things that I know to be facts or truth out there. So tonight ain't going to be no different. So I'm hoping that everybody's tuning in and they're ready to engage. Immediately the phone lines are open. I'm going to tell you the 3 areas that I want to concentrate on tonight. But of course, it's called Speak Your Mind. So whatever I put out, it doesn't mean that's what you got to stick with. Change gear in any direction that you want based on what's biting you. But of course, like my motto this year is that whenever you call this show with a complaint, have something else behind it. Have some kind of solution. Something that you believe could help better the situation. So therefore, the folks who are listening, who could make a difference, will consider some of those other ideas that you might have. So don't just call and vent. Don't just call and tell us the only thing that you see wrong, but tell us about the things that you believe could make a difference. So tonight, of course, this week, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the paper. You guys know that I came energized tonight because some of those things I've been itchy to talk about. I've been calling other radio shows and talk shows and voicing my concern and my opinion on those things. And 1 or 2 of those things, I even had shows specifically on those topics right here. And I got to tell you, I hate to blow my own horn, but every time I open my mouth, sometimes when you look at the information and you see what's happening right now, some of the same things that I put out there is what we're talking and discussing now. So for all you haters, all you bloggers who constantly blog about not knowing things, sometimes it's good to just engage. Instead of blogging foolishness and not really engaging, let's all engage with each other. Let's have a conversation so it'll be in the end an intelligent one. So tonight, I think we should talk about the plastic bag and the 15 cents. It's a hot debate. Many of you up to this morning stopped me at the beach and talking about the plastic bag, and I'm glad that people are passionate about things that are happening. I just wish that we would be more passionate, so when we have community meetings and so forth, you come out and you show that passion in your action. So the plastic bag is on top of the list. Of course, the $15 million is also a hot topic this week. There's been a lot of debates about that. The fact that it came from the Caribbean Development Bank, and the fact that the government or whoever had to sign a $400,000+ contract for a consultancy to come in, and the press release said to design and implement and oversee implementation of the projects, the money for the projects that it was approved for. That's a debatable one. Some people feel differently about that, and so I want to hear from you. I want to know how you think about that. If you don't know the story, I got the story. I'll put it out there, and we'll talk about it. And then, of course, one thing that I probably going to talk a lot about tonight is the whole cruise ship development. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I support cruise ship. I support the development of cruise ship in this country. I don't care what nobody say. I am all about cruise ship. I'm all about the airport. I want to see that airport built. But tonight we're talking about the cruise ship and the development of the cruise ship, the whole negotiation process, the letter that Royal Caribbean, I didn't put it out there, Royal Caribbean put out a letter out there complaining that they felt they were treated unfairly. The process wasn't transparent. The people who are negotiating are also, people who are hired by government. They're running the Port Authority, and the Port Authority, if that's the case, if what they were saying is true, that's a conflict of interest, because you can't have the people who are responsible for the government, who are in bed with the other partner, the competitor, being the chief negotiator. That's not right. That doesn't sound right. There's something fishy about that. So let's talk about that. So again, I know you guys are watching. I already see 1, 2, 3, 4 texts. The text is already coming in. But I want to hear your voice tonight, man. I want you guys to interact. 3 things out there: the plastic bag, the $15 million that was approved some years ago, and now it's about to be used. But we have to, sign contracts. So we'll have a firm coming in from overseas to help oversee, implement, and design different areas so we can use that money. And of course, the cruise ship. So I'm going to jump on the plastic bag thing first. Right off the bat, folks, I'm going to tell you something about the whole plastic bag thing and the 15 cents. I think it's a good idea. I don't have any problem with it. We have to be very conscious of our environment. I support the ministers and the government on this one. I think it's a good idea, but I do have some concern. I do have some questions as well, just like the rest of you. But anything that we could do to reduce waste, to reduce things like plastic and so forth in our environment, things that, the bottles going to the recycle, the incinerator. I mean, anything that we could do to help minimize the impact, it would be great. My only concern is that if it's going to be that real of an issue, then we should just probably stop importing the plastic. Let's just take them away. Let's just stop all the supermarkets and everybody from bringing them in. But I also see where there was an opportunity. When you look at the whole plastic bag thing, that news broke 1 week, and then a few days later, you see the supermarkets charging money, and then you see the supermarkets already have bags, like cloth bags, selling for $1.99 and so forth. I thought when I saw that it was a good idea, but I thought, it seemed that there was a process put in place. There was conversation. There was a decision made to get rid of the plastic bag. And if that was the case, then what I thought, they should have given people such as a young lady, she calls me, an opportunity to develop an industry, to develop an opportunity. I mean, this girl, she do a lot of things with recycled material, with plastic and hard plastic and all those things. This probably would have been a really good opportunity for her to even make some of those same bags that they're selling now at the supermarket. And then we could have a nice little industry, and she could have employed people while she grows something. And in the same supermarket who are paying the foreign importers those bags with the names printed on them could have been paying her to produce and manufacture those bags. So I thought, you know, that was another missed opportunity. And that, by the way, that's the theme of my show tonight. When my co-hosts come, it'll be our show. But right now it's just me. So the theme of this show tonight is missed opportunity. That's one missed opportunity, and it's never too late. It's not too late. I think it's still a chance for the government, for the supermarkets, to say maybe we should look at that. And again, let me rephrase what I said. You know, we have a young lady who I could call her name. Oh God, she's from Seacoast, but you guys know who I'm talking about. She calls this show a lot. She does a lot of things. She makes a lot of things out of recycled material. And I thought when the government and the supermarket and different folks decided on charging the 15 cents, which again, I say I think it's a good idea. If you want plastic bag, you should pay for it, because the whole focus is to reduce the amount of plastic in our environment. I support that. You know, if you don't like it, walk with your own bag. Don't pay the 15 cents. I also said that I thought that if you're going to get to that measure, though, if you're going to charge people for it, then just stop importing the bags. Stop allowing them to come in the country, and that way people can just not complain about it and just bring their own bags. But if you're going to sell people the bags for $1.99 and $2 and $2.50, I thought you guys should have, when I say you guys, government official, decision makers on this, the supermarket business folks who are running the supermarket, could have got together and say, we have people in the country who could probably produce these bags. Let's give them an opportunity to present the bags, and each person could have still buy those bags, put their names on them, and then we'd have had a nice little industry. So if that's already being done, I haven't seen it, please call me and let me know. If it's being done, then that's a great idea. If it's not being done, then it's something that we could look at to help that person. Because, you know, again, we got to find ways to stimulate our people, stimulate entrepreneurship. You know, and speaking of entrepreneurship, before I forget, you know, I saw a thing in the paper. It's on Platinum News, and it's on Vino. They were talking about Sir Branson. On Vino, I read that he said that, you know, he had a conversation with the premier some weeks ago about, and the premier was telling him that we have a lot of BVI lenders, locals who can't access loans for small startup businesses. And Branson thought it was a good idea to put $200,000 to help start this program and get local folks. For him, it doesn't matter if you're a BVI lender. He said anybody in the country who's a legal resident will be able to qualify for loans. So I thought it was a brilliant idea, but it's nothing new. You know, I thought the story was a bit fishy or strange because Mr. Branson himself, about 2 years ago, launched a pilot program in Jamaica, you know, where it was an entrepreneurship program where he would fund startup entrepreneurship businesses. And I remember myself specifically writing a letter to Branson and asking him why only Jamaica and not the rest of not even the BVI. They said it was Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean, but I didn't see anything else outside of Jamaica. So I remember writing a letter, and I still have that letter at home. It's still there. I remember calling Nickel Island and asking them, you know, you're making millions of dollars out of the BVI. We got a lot of young people here in the BVI who are looking for opportunity and can't get loans. Why not fund some of the folks here? So either way, I'm glad to see that, you know, Mr. Branson, the guys who own Google, Larry Page, and those guys are stepping up finally, you know, to help young people, entrepreneurs in this country access loans, small micro loans to help start their business. But it's a loan, and you will be charged some kind of interest and some kind of fee. If you want the information on that, go on Platinum News or Vino. At the bottom of the article, you'll see an address there where you can submit your proposal to try to get some of this money to get yourself going. So there's opportunities out there. So, you know, hooray for Mr. Branson. You know, either way, it's a good thing. And I just think it's about time, guys. It's about time all you rich guys in this country who are living good in a beautiful country, try to help some of our young people. Because remember, our young people who are independent, who are entrepreneurs, is less stress on the society. And also, guys, that information is also on JTV News. So make sure you hit JTV News. And before we go any further, I want to emphasize if you have people outside of the BVI who live outside of the BVI who want to stay, in what's happening live and direct, we do live streaming. jtvlive.net. They can check out the show live while it's showing right now. So, and they can call in. The numbers are always on screen. They can call us directly. So again, the plastic bag, has been a big thing. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know how you feel about the 15 cents. I've already put in my 2 cents. I support the effort, the initiative. But of course, like, a lot of people are saying, and, we shipped in more plastic in the water bottles that we drink water every day. That plastic is probably worse than the plastic bags. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But I would only assume since it's hard plastic, it will probably take more energy to get rid of it versus the plastic bag. But either way, it's plastic. It's a build-up process. It's bad for the environment. And we do have to protect the environment because without the environment, there's no tourism. Without the proper clean environment, the way we enjoy life, we're going to end up losing it. So anybody out there listening, I said point blank, I support the initiative. I just thought there was a missed opportunity to give somebody local now to start making those other bags that we're selling for $1.99 and $2 and change. So I think that was a great opportunity. Moving on to the next thing that I have on my list. I'm going to get to the Texas in a minute. But the next thing I have on the list is a $15 million going back, just to refresh some of your memories if you don't know. Under the Virgin Islands Party, the government went and sought a loan in the Caribbean Development Bank. Let's get to this call real quick. You want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Talk to me, live show.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. I'm glad you called.
Good.
What's on your mind?
I'm here listening to you about the plastic bag. I think that's a good idea with the plastic bag.
Okay. You like the idea of charging 15 cents for the bags. What about the idea of this could have been an opportunity for somebody. It doesn't have to just be the young lady that I mentioned, but other people who are crafters, people who could knit bags and stuff. This could have been a good opportunity for some of the old people in old people home to maybe start producing those bags that they're selling in Rightway and Walmart and so forth, and these guys could have buy it from them. What do you think about that opportunity?
Well, I went to Walmart this afternoon and I get free bags.
You got a free bag? Good for you.
When you shop $25 or more, you get free bags.
Well, you should get a free bag anyway, because if you get a free turkey...
Right, so you have to buy $1.99 per bag. I don't think that should be the thing that should give the bag.
Well, you got to give Walmart a lot of credit. They're smart. Right. He's really pushing a lot of smart marketing effort. I mean, you're getting free turkey with a $100 purchase.
Oh, yeah.
And you can start stocking up now for Christmas.
Oh.
So yeah, I think it's great. And you're absolutely right. Rightway should be giving away free bags. Period.
Yeah, I think so.
They shouldn't be charging. And the folks at Rightway know this. I mean, Rightway got enough money. And, take a few cents off them high cost of stuff in there and buy some bags and give it to your shoppers. The shoppers are spending that much money.
I think they should do that. I mean, it was the St. Thomas and you have to buy that card for it, but this is St. Thomas. This is not the BVI. The BVI is the BVI and America is America.
Yeah.
It's going to compare it together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, next time you go in...
I think it's a long time I'm going to take to get rid of the plastic because chicken come in plastic, fish come in plastic, so much stay in plastic, so I don't know when I'm going to get rid of this plastic.
But you know what's even worse than plastic is styrofoam.
I know.
Styrofoam is 2 to 3 times worse than plastic to process. And styrofoam, you can't really put it in a landfill because it doesn't really decay. It doesn't go away. It stays there.
So I think it's a good idea what they're doing, but I will go to Kmart and get free bag when I shop $50.
All right. I'll just walk with the same bag and recycle that way.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Thanks a lot for the call.
I have different colors and all different styles on the bag when I go to shop.
All right. Appreciate that.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
Thank you. So thanks a lot for the call again. So you see there, ladies and gentlemen, start calling. You don't need to disguise your voice, but if you want to, you can just put your hand over your mouth like this and just talk, and nobody wouldn't be able to recognize your voice. But again, I put out there the plastic bag situation. We're going to take a break. When we come back, We're going to talk about the $15 million. I want to know how you guys feel about that. But again, the show is open to whatever's on your mind. It's called Speak Your Mind, not my mind. I don't want to sit up here all night listening to myself for a whole hour and a half. I want to hear from you. I know there's a lot of issues. Some of you are sitting back waiting for me to talk about it, for me to introduce it. It's your problem. It's your concern. You should speak out about it, all right? So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
With Digicel 4G, discover hundreds and thousands of apps available from the Google Play Store, allowing you to do more. Listen more. Feel more. Love more. Play more. See more. Like more, share more. Make more of every moment. 4G phones available from just $99. Sign up for a Digicel 4G data plan from as little as $1 per day and explore the Google Play Store from your Android smartphone. Put extraordinary at your fingertips. Be extraordinary. Digicel. Subject to availability. Digicel terms and conditions apply.
Alright, so welcome back. So while we was on break, I just had a couple of texts that came through. I'm going to just go through those texts real quick. Some of you are passionate about some of your texts, man, but I think sometimes when we're talking, you should listen to what we're saying so you're not saying the wrong thing in your text. But somebody said something about locals. If a local had to put up some money, like what Branson did, they wouldn't have gotten any recognition. I concur. I believe what you're saying to be facts. I mean, we got a lot of locals doing a lot of great things for the territory, and they don't get any recognition. Somebody said something about the bags being sold to businesses by these same supermarkets. They said they add up to millions of dollars. How are we handling those bags? And the fact that these businesses, restaurants, hoteliers, and so forth are buying these bags, big bags, small bags, and these bags are also going into the waste. Are they paying a premium the person has to get those bags or extra cost? Somebody said, Sam, what's happening at the port? What's going on at the port? I don't know. You tell me. Another text came and looked like the same text. It said, port director increase is the hottest thing going right now. If you guys want to talk about that, that's on you. Talk about it. I know if I was in his position and I believe I could have gotten away with it, I probably would have looked to do it too. Give myself a raise. If nobody don't speak out, things will happen. So on my list, again, I had the plastic bag. Some of you are writing and texting about the plastic bag. We just had a caller. Again, I support the initiative. I think it's a great idea. My whole suggestion is, if you don't want to pay the 15 cents per plastic bag every time you got to go home with a plastic bag, take your bag with you and do your shopping, and you're helping the environment and recycling. You don't have to pay the 15 cents. The $15 million. That's a hot one. That's a hot one. It's not unusual for the loans to be conditioned. All of our loans, when it come from the Caribbean or anywhere, are conditioned. So if you want to hit that up, hit that up. Of course, the one that I'm itchy to talk about is the cruise ship, the whole cruise ship development. The whole Royal Caribbean letter. I don't know how many of you were following this. A lot of you in the initial stage, about a year ago now, were upset. Last year I did a show, this show, talked about the whole cruise ship and the concept of it being developed and not in the best interest of the people of this territory. And now here we are coming around again to the same thing. You want to speak your mind? Go ahead. Go ahead, talk to us.
Yeah, good evening. You're live on Speak Your Mind. Go right ahead, please.
15 cents.
Yeah, we're listening to you now. Go ahead.
We shouldn't be talking about 15 cents. Everyone could get 15 cents. Talk about all the nonsense that has been going on.
Well, tell us what's going on.
You know, just a bit as I do. Getting pain, raising wages.
You need to turn on your television a bit, though, please.
15 cents is not an issue. Let's get off that. Everyone could get 15 cents. Millions of dollars that is being
Hello?
Caller, I think his call got disconnected.
I think call got disconnected.
Yeah, call us back, caller.
Call us back.
You sound good. I agree with you. Everybody could afford 15 cents, but you know, 15 cents, you know, 3-4 times every time you go shop adds up at the end of the week. That's child fee for lunch and snacks, and you know, eventually it might be bus fare for some people. So it may not seem like a lot, but for some people it's a lot. So
well, Sam, I might want to add that I was in a supermarket today and they changed their policy. They're not charging you for bags. As a matter of fact, every time you spend $50, you get a bag.
Yeah.
And that's you know, that's one way of looking at it as well, I guess. And,
and
we have to monitor the way it is changing, because I was in the bank the other day as well, First Bank, and they were giving out bags for free.
Yeah.
So you know, it's good that we're, you know, making the community more aware of the waste that we're having, but it's manifesting itself in so many different ways. It's hard to keep a track of what's going on right now.
Well, somebody called about that earlier, you know, and talked about the fact that they went, and they mentioned Walmart. They said they went to Walmart, they spent a certain amount of money, and they were given a bag, and I thought that was really good. Courtney, my biggest thing on the whole bag thing is I thought it was a missed opportunity for our friend what I call us was so crafty and creative with her hands. There would have been probably a good opportunity for even the folks who go to the community centers every week to start knitting some bags and making a little money.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been a great opportunity for them.
Yeah. Good evening. You've reached Speak Your Mind. Go right ahead, please.
Yes, 15 cents.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. You said 15 cents. 15 cents what? Hello?
Turn on your TV just a little bit for us, caller. Talk to us.
It's done.
Okay.
We're getting a little feedback. That's first.
But with the bigger today, we need to start thinking outside of 15 cents. We don't need to spend 2 hours on the TV talking about 15 cents. Let's put a 15 cents. Let's talk about all the wrong government stuff that is happening in the BVI. That's more important.
Let's talk about it. I'm with you. Let's go.
You know, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the poor. Let's talk about there's a wealth of stuff here that's happening. It's not 15 cents. It's millions and millions of dollars. So why we entertaining 15 cents? I mean, you go outside the supermarket and pick up $1 in cents. So why are we talking about that?
You're making a good point.
I think it's more important than that.
You're making a good point.
Don't pay the 15 cents, don't pay the 15 cents, get a box and go and pick up the groceries and go home. And don't make an issue. There's too much of government wrongdoing in this country.
Name one. Name one that's really irritating you right now.
We can't be giving ourselves a raise after earning $105,000 that's approved by cabinet. What else you want to know?
Okay.
Let's talk about the real stuff.
Yeah.
15 cents today?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand 15 cents and 15 cents and then 30 cents and then 45 cents and keep going up. Yes, it does. But at the same time, we are getting robbed millions of dollars and we spending 15 cents? Come on.
Well, Carla, let me put it to you another way. Let me put it to you another way. We have a system in place. We have a government. We have an opposition. Where's the opposition?
That's my business. My business is that you're talking to the people and speak your mind.
Of course.
To the people. Maybe some of us can see some hair today. And that's what you're there for. But we're there to talk about 15 cents.
Well, you know, we also have to address the issues that the people that call the show address.
Yeah, but tell them 15 cents is that I could go outside on the road and we pick up $10 on the street. So it's not an issue.
Yeah, your television set is giving us a feedback though.
But anyway, you deal with that. I don't have about 15 people watching you guys tonight. Deal with the issue.
And I like the fact.
People that are doing the wrong thing.
I like the fact that you're calling. Let's talk about the port raise. How do you feel about the port raise? That's what I want to hear from you. Let's raise that issue.
The port raise?
Yeah. How do you feel about that? You think he deserved a raise? You think it was unethical?
I feel one way.
You what? You think he needs to go home?
After that.
Well, then those who are his boss, who are in charge of him, should lead by example.
Then they should, and if they don't, they'll put a penalty.
Well, the penalty gonna be 2.5 more years. By then he'll get the raise anyway.
The penalty is penalty. 2.5 years. A year from now, the penalty is the penalty because you know what? The people are stupid them off. So if they don't want to lead by example, well then, we'll stick with it and deal with it at that time.
Yeah, I understand. What do you think? What's your take on the whole cruise ship development? The complaint letter that Royal Caribbean published this week. That goes hand in hand with the same port raise. What do you think about that?
Hand in hand, but there you go. They come locally and internationally. What else you need?
So Carl, you have any suggestion? You're live, and you could speak to the public right here, right now. You have any suggestion?
If the government don't act, well then, whatever happens, it's their responsibility.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay.
Everybody is responsible for themselves.
But I'm saying to you, we have systems in place. We have people who speak about good governance. We have people who speak about transparency.
In a good governance, in a transparency, United States, BVI, there's none of that. UK.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
All right, Carl. We got another caller. Right. Thanks so much for the call.
Out.
All right. Put the call through, please, engineering. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, speak your mind. Go ahead, please. Talk to us. You're on live.
Yes, I am calling.
You're
waiting for me to call.
I'm glad you called. I know you're going to start the fire.
Well, the shooting I will touch base on tonight. National Health Insurance, what I heard they're talking garbage about.
Yes.
The cruise ship port.
Yes.
The still happening to the company. They already write the British High Commissioner in England. And all of that sort of thing that going on. I told you all of me talks several times that was a sham.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, it come out now that it's a sham.
Which part is a sham? Which part is a sham that you see?
The tendering process.
The tendering process. Okay.
Now the people have claimed they want the money back. I believe that is the money that they had to deposit.
Okay.
You can't get back to them.
I think they should get the money back though.
But no, Carl, I think the money. I think the money they're looking for is the money that they spent on preparing the tender and putting the tender together.
They should get it back too. They should get it all back with the deposit and the money they put the tender together with. It's time this thing stop going on, because let me tell you something, only you know. Some might get a little bit of idea what we're talking about. When you tender for a job, it costs money, and real money. You don't get a job, you can't get your money back.
It costs time too.
Yes. So that's dead money when you tender for a job and you don't get it.
But Carla, you know the biggest complaint in that letter was they said that the same guy who was he was a consultant before. They saw this guy as a consultant, and when they walk in the negotiation room, they saw the same guy who is now the port director. How is it possible? How is it possible that it could be fair if he is the port director, the port, BVI Port, is in bed partnership with TPP, and he is the chief negotiator, according to what Royal Caribbean said in that letter? So it can't be fair.
Depending on you, this money is just actual large increase in salary?
I don't know what he asked for. I read something in the paper.
Some $12,000 a month. What the most amazing thing about that, Sam, I believe you know port from Starbury. I don't believe this man know that. And it's a sad story. And government taking the taxpayers' money and doing all this kind of garbage with it. It's a sad story, really. Well, me say another thing again while we are at the port. When we go to another port, the final port now. We're paying around $17,000 a month to do what? Let me tell you. He's engineer.
You mean the airport project?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing various figures. I've been hearing various figures from 10,000 all the way to 17,000 a month.
Well, that's what's going on. I can't think going on. So anything could happen. Now, the main thing I want to talk about is the national health insurance.
Let's say your take on that. The 7.5.
Okay, now this is the news about national health insurance. I've been waiting a long time. So let me show you something, right? A lot of people got insurance with. They got insurance with Caribbean Insurance, Magico. Every insurance company in this country carry health and life insurance for people. Now, I believe that the government is going to make this thing mandatory because it's supposed to operate like how Social Security operates.
That's what I heard when we had the people on the show here. That's what they said. It's mandatory.
Okay, it's mandatory. I got somebody on that show I want to hit hard. When I get them to them, I'll tell you what it's all about.
Okay.
Now, here's what happened now. Magico got their own people insured, right? With Magico. Caribbean Insurance got their own people insured with Caribbean Insurance.
Yes.
So now I'm benefit insurance. So those people that don't have to pay insurance, health insurance for them. So that's right off. Each one of these insurances that you know, not only that, they are going to be losing a hell of a lot of money. They're going to start with the start, and then what happen? The house insurance going up double, the motor car insurance going up double, the money you borrow from the bank going up double, the clinics going up double, the insurance going up double. Am I right or wrong?
Okay. What I heard some people saying is that when these insurance companies are not able to offer health insurance, they may not offer the other insurances that they offer, like life insurance and vehicle insurance and those other things.
Who can offer it?
Well, I'm not sure, but these are the people who are offering it right now.
That's what Magic can do.
Yeah.
They offer health insurance because a lot of people got health insurance with these people.
I'm aware of that. Caller, another concern is for people who have group insurance. I know you know about group insurance, where if you and I and Sam wanted to get together and go to a company and get an insurance, we'll get a better rate because we're a group and not an individual.
No, you're going somewhere now where I want you to go. Because listen to this. If you want to get a group insurance out and you took sick, so we can do the national health insurance with the mandatory.
No, you can't have both. You only can have one as far as I understand it.
So we're talking about the group insurance for insurance card?
No, what I'm saying is if you're going to be giving up the group, you should be able to get something equivalent to the group type insurance. That's what I was saying.
Only all my concern is about this national health insurance. Because I see a problem with it. Because let me tell you something, I'm going to tell the public. But I mean, this told me that it's going to cost $18 a month. You pay $9 and I pay $9.
Okay.
Right? And not only that, there is a little clause in the fine print that said government will be allowed to borrow that money.
Okay.
You see?
Well, you're onto something there now, because I was figuring if it started up tomorrow, and all the bills came in on, say, Wednesday, you wouldn't have the money to pay out on Wednesday, so you have to have some seed money.
Well, I understand government is going to subsidize it, $30 million. We go up, we're going to get $30 million subsidized. That's what they say we work.
Well, Carl, I got to tell you, and I'm going to put my 2 cents in. I support the National Health Insurance Scheme. I understand what you're saying, but I see opposite of what you're saying. I got a few concerns, but not the ones you're talking about. I think if, hypothetically speaking, you were paying $18 a month, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than some of these insurance schemes out here that are charging $300 and change to $400 and change just to keep 3 people on an insurance scheme. So overall, right there alone, if that's the case, cost-wise, it's much, much cheaper. The problem I have with the health insurance scheme is that if the services being rendered or offered is not wide enough, if it's not covered enough, areas where people might have issues with, then that's the problem. And what I understand is that there's some local clinics that may not even join this thing, and that's a problem. That's a huge concern. But overall, I got to tell you, man, I support this national health insurance scheme because for the guy, and I want to correct something you said, it's not a standard amount. It's based on your income or what you claim. So if you're self-employed, I believe it's at 7.5%. If you claim $300 a month or $300 a week, it's only 7-point-something% of that. And that is still cheaper than any insurance company out there.
Sam, one of my concerns where that thing is concerned, we're talking about self-employed, right? One of my concerns where that is right now is that what happened to a man who makes 65 years old and retire that can't pay it? Where he can get the money from to pay it? They take his Social Security card, money and pay it?
Well, again, this is why I understand it, my good friend. It's what you claim as income. Your income could be a retirement check. Your income could be a check that you get from somebody. It could be any kind of thing that you claim as income, and it doesn't have to be a job income. You know what I mean? It could be anything that you claim as income, and it's that percentage of that. So let's just say you are getting a Social Security check, and you claim that as your only source of income, and it's $300 a week. Again, it still comes down to the same amount. And that person, go ahead.
One of my concerns I got with it too is this, that somebody got to tell us who, if somebody building a house, a small person just building a house before signing, how are we going to tie that in to that project? Because
it's going to be an expense on the project.
It must be an expense on everyone too.
Yeah. But I'm glad you touched on the Social Security caller and the 65-year thing, because you know they're asking us to retire at 60, but you have to wait till 65 to collect a Social Security check. And then when you get the check, it's possible you might have to pay insurance out of that money. So that's a concern, because I think that whenever you're asked to retire, the retirement age and the Social Security should be the same year. That's my opinion.
Well, let me tell you something now, Sam. So we're going on in this country here now. It would be a cold day in hell if England don't come and take us place.
England have enough problems on their hand with the other.
They better do some investigation and do like we haven't done the road on the other.
Caller, listen. We got another caller line. I want you to call back though. I'm gonna cut you off for now. I want you to call back because I love when you call. You're raising some awareness, but let's get somebody else in and then call us back.
You go.
Okay. Send the next call in. You want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, you want to speak your mind live? Go ahead, please.
Good evening.
This is a live talk call-in show.
All right, call us back.
Yeah. Don't forget.
We got another call coming through. Let's take the next call coming through. But I like when I call a call, man. He raising some very interesting concern, Courtney.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. There's a lot of things that hasn't been worked out yet. You want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please. Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Sam Courtney.
Not bad.
How you doing?
Listen, one other thing that you guys admit is in relation to if you have to go off island for some special care. It's not going to be as easy as you think. A medical board is going to be put in place to determine whether or not you can go off island for that special care. I cannot afford for a medical board to determine what's best for me. If I think a guy is in England or somewhere in the state of Miami is the best thing for me because I've given all the background and that's the best thing for me, why should a medical board determine this? No, you can't go to England, you can't go to Miami because we could do it here. That's playing over people's life. So that is another concern. However, if you don't see it no other way, that's the way I see it.
Carla, before you go.
Yeah, before you run off.
I think, again, I'm going to say this clearly. I support the National Health Insurance Scheme, but there are some concerns. One of the major concerns is similar to what you're talking about. I think the government attempt is to control the cost of health care, assuming they can provide the care that you need, all the care that you need locally. By having a relationship with these doctors from Puerto Rico, Panama, wherever, and those doctors can come in once a week or whenever they can come in, whenever they're needed, to provide the care here, government can control costs, which is good for all of us. What you're talking about is having coverage outside of the network, because if the plan only covers the BVI, then you got to go outside network. Again, in the attempt to control costs, they have to find and make sure that the person you're going to, they have some kind of agreement in place to minimize the cost to get you the best service you want, you need. So what you're saying is a legitimate concern, but at the same time, we got to look at how government is looking at this thing. It's all about controlling the cost of health care. Even though you got good health care right now with some of these so-called insurance companies, you still have to go through the same process in Ocala. The same process is still in place, where the insurance company sometimes still approve your service to whoever you're going to. You can't just get up and go to a doctor without first pre-approving it with your health insurance company. Ain't that right, Courtney?
Well, I think the point that the caller was making, though, is that, you know, you have the option, but with this new system, you do not have an option.
Well, again, it's not really, because right now on Bupa or Carrick, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. You're speaking mine. Go right ahead, please.
Hello.
Hi, good night.
Good night. Talk to us.
I just have a question that I need you to clarify for me.
If you can.
About the National Health Insurance.
Okay.
You're saying that, okay, it's done by percentage. However, if you have to pick, let's say, John and Mary. Mary might be paying $100 for this insurance. And John, because John making more money, John might have to pay $300 for this insurance. I want to understand, how is this being fair when you're paying for the same coverage? That's what I don't understand. Because one pays way less than the other, but it's for the same coverage. So how is that fair?
Let's say Mary is yourself, and you're only making $200 a week. Would you want to be paying $500 for insurance, or would you prefer to be paying the $20 for insurance, which is what your percentage would come out to? Is it fair to you or unfair to you?
No, how I'm looking at it, right, is everybody, it has to be fair across the board.
And you don't think percentage-wise it's fair?
It shouldn't matter how much money one person making. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I want to be clear. When we had those guys here, they didn't say how much you're making in her. They said how much you declare as income. But when you think about it, some of us complain and say, some of these people in the country who are making $300,000 a year working in some of these law firms should be paying a higher fee in work permit. Fair or unfair? I think they should. People who are making $300,000, $400,000, don't you think those people, by percentage, should be paying more money? Or you think they should be paying less as the same as you, who might be making less money and claiming less money as income? What do you think about that? You think they should be paying the same as you?
I think Sam, though, let me interject a bit. I think what the caller might be saying is that you're paying for a service. It doesn't matter what your income is. The service is still the same. So why is there a difference in the cost for the service?
Well, there's a difference in how much you contribute to the service.
Based
on your income.
Paying for the service. It's just like a driver's license. Everybody's driver's license costs the same.
Yes, but listen, you know, the ironic thing, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you may have the person who's paying less, utilizing the service more, and might be taking more from the service. So is that fair? Is it fair to the guy who's putting more money into the system but will never use it versus a guy who's putting less and utilizing it every 5 minutes?
You see, that's where Robin Hood's story don't really
well,
work.
It goes hand in hand, but
you can't take from the rich and give to the poor. You know, it doesn't work exactly like that.
And the poor shouldn't have to sit back and depend on the rich to cover them as well. They should cover their own costs. So I think it's fair. That's just my opinion, no, Courtney. I think it's across the board. If it's a percentage way, I can't see you having a standard amount. Say everybody pay $150, and the guy who's making $10,000 a month only paying $150.
But that's how the insurance companies do right now. They don't care how much money you make.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
And you see, when you're replacing something with a system that's already in existence, you have to be careful that you're not, changing it so drastic that people will think that it's not fair. Yeah. Anyways, it would be nice to take a break for the people that are making the show possible. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back with you.
With Digicel 4G, discover hundreds and thousands of apps available from the Google Play Store, allowing you to do more. Listen more. Feel more. Love more. Play more. See more. Like more, share more. Make more of every moment. 4G phones available from just $99. Sign up for a Digicel 4G data plan from as little as $1 per day and explore the Google Play Store from your Android smartphone. Put extraordinary at your fingertips. Be extraordinary. Digicel. Subject to availability. Digicel terms and conditions apply.
Courtney, we're right back.
Yeah.
I just want to say to that caller, that's a really good question. But we plan to have those guys back on the show. So I hope that before we bring them, we're going to announce to the whole BVI, because there are a lot of questions that need to be asked and answered. So we're going to bring them back. Courtney, we had one really interesting text that said, why does Claude Skelton needs a reserve parking at the Rotown Ferry Dock? What a disgrace. Carl, I don't know what you mean. The man he's the director of port. If there's a space, I don't see why he can't use it, but if you feel otherwise, call us and let us know. I think more importantly, like the caller said, we don't need to worry about them little things, and we can't be worrying about the 15 cents, Courtney. What we should be worrying about is the $12,000 raise. We should be worrying about, the tendering process.
The big issues.
The big issues, things that's going to affect all our lives. Courtney, I had it in mind tonight to really, really talk about this cruise ship thing. I find it to be disgraceful, and Royal Caribbean putting a long, lengthy letter out there claiming that the process was unfair, it was biased. They claimed that whoever the negotiators were, they kept moving the goalposts. They said they kept moving the goalposts, but I want the people to know that if that's the case, I think it's wrong. But Courtney, but my biggest plea is to the people who are responsible, and I want the people who are responsible for this to let them know that, man, we got to stop this fighting. We got to stop this fighting. There's no need for us to fight over something like this.
Yeah, call back.
Yes, talk to us.
I had to call you back.
Yeah, I'm glad you called back.
One of the things that really interesting that I noticed happening for a good couple of years ago, the government borrowed some money from Caribbean Development Bank, some $15 million.
That's right.
And nobody ever get the whole truth about that money. But the truth coming out now.
Okay.
Because all the camouflage they had, talking about it, do this, you can do that. Neither this government or your government could do nothing with it. Because it was not theirs. They did not get it, so they couldn't touch it. Now, you were telling me that we become in a situation where they got to send a company from, I think, St. Lucia.
That's correct.
It's a Canadian company, paying them $490,000 to spend $15 million that we borrow.
Yeah.
You don't think that's a disgrace?
And even when they get here, they're going to make more money because they got to do some designs and implementation and oversee it and all that other stuff. I'm sure that's an extra cost.
But you got to get my house in the board too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to get my car.
Yeah. Transportation,
food. Well, Carla, you know that these things are usually done at the negotiating table at the time when you're applying for the loan. You can't change those things now.
Well, at the time when they deal with that thing there, I don't think really, because they had so much of strong hope that they never was going to say, go ahead.
Okay.
The guys who got it was, it never happened. So something backfired.
It seems that way. But Carla, you know, I'm glad you're raising that, you know, because I'm a bit concerned that we're looking at planning and the pre-bid arrangement, and none of those things don't go out to tender. The only thing we're concerned about tender with is when it's construction, or when it's the final phase. But all phases of these projects should be tendered.
Let me tell you something, right? We going down to the river of no return. And it's a sad story. Even the electric corporation, that nobody up to now yet coming out and tell us when we won $5 million more this month or for the year, they're just shoving it down our throat and we got to swallow it.
You mean the surcharge, the fuel surcharge?
Yeah. Well, I understand they had a big mix-up there because one man went on vacation and one man went to sign a contract. Then he decided to go on, he was supposed to sign a big one, sign a smaller one, and there's a big confusion on here.
Oh boy. Well, I know in some other Caribbean islands, the government decided that the economic time was so bad that they just squashed the surcharge from the bill. Why we can't get something like that in our little country where we know for a fact that surcharge is sometimes more than the bill? Why we can't get some kind of relief from that surcharge?
I think that somebody getting the pocket full of that money there. They won't tell you because nobody ain't coming to tell us exactly what's going on. It's either a 2% off a gallon of gas or something going back into somebody's pocket. Something wrong. It's a sad story.
Courtney, we just got 2 texts. We're going to read these texts real quick. Somebody asked a question. Sam, you agree with the National Health Insurance Scheme? I said yes. I believe in that. I think if government could do this thing right, reduce the cost. We got some insurance company in this country that are robbing and raping the people. We got a problem trying to get proper care. You got to come up with a bunch of money every year. Your premium go up. If we could control that, it will be good. So, yes, I support the government health care program. Another text, Courtney, came in and said, if we lose Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, it said we'll be in a world of trouble. The person says, where's the taxi drivers on this? Carl, I don't know. Them sleeping. Sometimes, you try to educate some of our taxi fellow men, and they fall asleep on the program. But I tell you something about this Royal Caribbean deal, and the government have to be very, very careful. These people don't realize that Royal Caribbean is the #2 player out there in the entire cruising industry. Royal Caribbean command almost 40 ships, and they have marketing power in Germany, Eastern Europe, all over North America. They marketing power in Latin America. I thought that the people who are negotiating would know who they're up against and say, maybe we should consider these guys because they're most likely to do the things that we're asking for and looking for. So, Courtney?
You got a call.
You want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please. Go ahead, talk to us.
The live show, go right ahead.
Listen, I think what's Courtney the one that made a statement to the fact that the insurance company is saying that if they can't carry medical insurance, they will be able to carry like vehicle insurance and other types of policies.
Yeah, but I don't think that's true though.
But remember now that have been carrying all of these things for years. They're the one who just carrying medical insurance. Yes. carrying property and cars and what have you a long time ago, but it wasn't carrying medical.
Yeah, but it's all a matter of choice, right, Carla?
Exactly.
You can add and delete whatever you want.
Yeah. Anyway, I want you to help me on this, guys. I'm on Platinum, right? And I'm looking at statement being made by David Johnson. He said, I think the government has done a fine democratic process with environmental assessment and everything. I can't do anything to help that, but I can keep selling real estate that pays lots of stamp duty. No, my understanding that he's justifying stamp duty for all real estate. I have a problem with that, because when the stamp duty money done, real estate value. So I don't know how you look at it, but I have a funny feeling about a statement like that. We're talking about we making so much money in stamp duty as opposed to our losing our property. He wants to make plenty money, and he's saying that he's making plenty money. In my opinion, we're collecting lots of stamp duty. But guess what? We're talking about when they're gone.
If David Johnson is making a statement, you say you're reading it on Platinum, the government should respond to that. The government should respond to that because, you know, with all the pioneer status that he enjoys, millions of dollars, and I said it here on this show and I say it again, all so-called investors coming into this country who see the benefit in this country, from the minute they reach the door, you don't give them a special person inside any office to get fast-track all the paperwork. What you do is you put somebody there to say, every dime that you save, 1 penny goes into an account. Every dime, every time you bring in furniture, that you say somebody, you're going to put in a villa that you sell for $5 million or $10 million, 1 penny or 2 penny or 5 cents should go into an account automatically. You shouldn't have to beg and wait for a $100,000 check to say you're doing something for the territory. So I think it's an insult to the country. If what you're saying is true, if that's what you're reading, that's an insult to the government, and the government should respond to that.
If you go on Platinum, and if you go on Platinum, you'll see it in the last paragraph of statement he made on Platinum. And furthermore, I resent any situation where any investor come in here and they pay $20 million a piece of land. And when he's ready to start selling that, he sell one piece for the same $20 million.
Yeah, he don't make that money.
Call it, you know what, in some countries, you know what they call it? Speculation. You buy a piece of land for $1 million, you divide it up in 20, and then you sell one lot for the same $20 million. Man,
what's going on? We're losing our land and we're not making any money.
You're talking about losing the land. What about making it impossible for the younger generation to ever own a house?
Very good point. Very good point.
But all I can tell you, Carla, all I can tell you is this, right? There's a notarized piece of document inside. I think it's a High Court registrar or the registry for the deal with David Johnson. All you gotta do is go read it and understand the kind of concession this gentleman got. He's a good man. Nobody here condemning him. He's a good man in his own rights. But for him to make them kind of statement and government don't respond to it, I mean, I ain't government, so I ain't gonna say not much about it. But like I said, any investor, any new one coming into this country, don't give them no handout like that. You tell them you want to come, you're going to make your money, we're going to take care of the country while you make your money.
Carla, we have another call coming in there, so thank you very much for your input. Yeah. Yes, Sam, you know, the thing that one of the things that he spoke about that I might follow up on is the marriage. But let's take a call. You're live on Speak Your Mind. Go right ahead, please. Good night. Good night. You're like, oh, sorry, we lost you. This is a live call-in show. It's not a tape show. It's a live show. So you're free to call us, 300-1949 if you're calling, and 300-1950 if you're texting. But one of the things that I picked up from what the last caller was saying is that marriage in our territory, we have lost any kind of anything to do with marriage as a right. Go right ahead. You speak your mind. Go right ahead, please.
Yes, good evening, Brother Courtney and Sam.
Yeah, good evening.
This is African State, Virgin Gorda. So we chatted down at Bradenton.
How was the breeze up in Virgin Gorda?
I think you know me.
How was the breeze up in Virgin Gorda?
The breeze is magnificent.
I've been there 3 times. Just the other day I was looking for you in the same corner and I didn't see you. What happened? You stopped coming out?
Yes, I've been cool because I've been kind of upset. Brother Sam, I got something for you. At the Virgin Gorda Agriculture Fair, we had February 7th. We saw in the papers, on front page of the papers, that we were trying to get the young people to become interested in agriculture. And they had magnificent programs there in Rotown where people were smiling and happy. Pictures on the front page of newspapers about the agriculture. But in Virgin Gorda, the fair was unfair. The fair was unfair. I smell a rat. I see a rat.
Enlighten us.
What happened, 3 or 4 or 5 of the top farmers in Virgin Gorda, the team that visited the plantations did not come to our plantation to see what we had. And we found, I complained. I said, well, hey, man, I've been farming for 30, 40 years.
Okay.
And well, how come you didn't come? And they said, the manager of the Virgin Gorda Agriculture Station did not register our farms, did not put our names into, and so not having identification, the visiting team never visited. And that happened to 3 or 4 people.
Okay.
It happened to me. And I've won the best orchard for 3 or 4 years straight.
Okay.
And I complained about it, and they said, yes, well, they never put your name in. So, but the people from the agriculture department really wanted to hear plowing the day before with a tractor, plowing my fields and what have you. They come here to get mangoes. I took mangoes to the police station to stay in the side of the police. I took mangoes to the health clinic so that the nurses and doctors would feel that we care about them just like they care for us. But somebody failed to put if you go right at this moment, or if you go at any time, you'll see tomatoes rotting in the fields because the owner and the developer, his name was not even mentioned. They gave it to somebody we don't know.
Somebody dropped the ball.
We don't even know where their plantation is. The fair was unfair.
Somebody dropped the ball. Big time.
And I've got complaints to the ombudsman. And I'm going to speak to them tomorrow, rather Monday, about it. But I want you to know about it. I'm going to send you the letter describing the whole situation and naming names who are responsible for this miscarriage of justice for the top farmers in Virgin Gorda. Now, we're trying to get the young people to plant and know the value of food, and we must have food, and we must have food independently.
Carla.
And they fail to do that. They lied to the children.
Yeah, Carla, thanks very much for that. I want to divert just a little bit. You call and you raise my consciousness about something on Virgin Gorda. That swimming pool that we were supposed to be building, and it was going to be, something for the kids, and we were talking about Olympics and all that stuff. What's happening with that swimming pool?
Well, I'll tell you, there's so many things that have taken place here that the people have asked. As a matter of fact, in the last election, half of the people didn't even vote. They said they have it because these people are not going to do right. There's some discrepancies in management at all levels. But the premier was sitting right at the table at the agriculture fair in last one on February 7th. The premier was there. The district representative, Ralph T. O'Neill, was there. He said to me, well, I was surprised because every year you always put your plantation in. I don't know what happened. It happened with some petty clerks who trying to play their own local politics. But as far as the swimming pool is concerned, we're having a lot of trouble about cleaning up the beaches, cleaning up the community, because if you clean alongside the sidewalk, it looks nice. But you look behind the bushes, a dead cow, a dead horse, a dead mule or something, there's all kinds of trash on every street. And we argue and fuss about all of these things, including the swimming pool. The police are now tightening up on people. They tell them, say, listen, you're not supposed stores have blackout, we can't even look in the window to see who's in there. Don't come out in the highways, driving up and down the streets without having registration, without having the proper insurances. As a matter of fact, the whole place is out of order. And they don't like me up here. As a matter of fact, at one point I had to go to police because somebody was saying they were going to throw me in the ocean. And I've been in 3 wars in wounded in combat, and it's best for them not to mess around with me.
Carla?
I'm going to send you written material about the problems here because there are so many. And they're not paying any attention to us. That's the reason why I'm calling us up.
No, you speak your mind, you keep calling and keep watching.
Thank you very much.
We're going to be up soon to have breakfast.
Thank you.
All right.
Give me a call, give me a signal, and I'll meet you.
Oh, yeah. I'll notify you.
Thank you.
All right.
Sam, we're just about at the end of the show. We have less than 2 minutes to go. And we're going to have to try and do a quick wrap-up. You could start out giving us some the feedback from what we've been able to cover so far.
Mine is so simple. I'm just going to touch on the cruise ship thing. I just think, again, my pleading to those who are in powers, you know, we got folks in this country who are willing to invest and develop their own product, and I think they should be given an opportunity.
Okay.
With that said, that's it. Let me just get this last call real quick. You want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please. You got like 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're doing the right thing.
Okay.
You're letting the criminals and boy, you're talking about them. You found out Olympic-sized swimming pool.
We sure.
And still when children go away, come back home to play league, they refuse them. Man, stop it. Man, because you don't really get the speak your mind thing.
Yeah.
And understand what's going on in the country.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You know, we get with the them that is destroying the country, then
turn on your television again. Your television is too loud.
Entertain all kind of stuff in it.
Yeah, don't worry. Next week we're gonna be right here, and we want you to tune in.
I had enough for you, man.
No.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for the call.
I want to make a plug for the First-Time Home Builders Custom Management and Duties Amendment Act 2011. It's a great idea. It's something that I personally experienced. You have the guidelines for the first-time home builder. You have to receive the exemption, you have to have the following: a certified copy of a bill of quantities from a licensed quantity surveyor, a copy of approval letter from Town Country Planning, Public Works Department, and proof of citizenship, and a first-time home builder declaration. Once you have these and you present these to the Customs Department, you can bring your products in duty-free if you are a first-time home builder. And this is an excellent program for a number of people, and I think that you know, all people should really grab this amendment and you know, and utilize it. It's there. All you have to do is go to the Customs Department if you don't already know about it and ask them about it. It is something that can save you a tremendous amount of money when you're building a house. And Sam, in these hard economic times, I think this is one area where our people can really benefit from this. We had a pretty good show. We were able to touch on a number of issues. We had a number of calls and a number of texts, and of course we are always thankful for the people who make this show such a lively show by calling and texting. We're grateful, and we really love the people that make the show possible. So until next week, we're going to say God bless these Virgin Islands and the people that live in it, and we'll see you again next week.